Hi friends, it's Pastor Janine with Covenant Presbyterian Church of Los Angeles, and I want to introduce you to a spiritual practice that we'll be doing here at the church and out over the internet during the month of February. I'll be reading every day a reflection from a little book published by the Presbyterian Peacemaking Program with reflections from the Belhar Confession, and we'll be doing that for a couple of reasons. One, February is Black History Month, and as a Matthew 25 church, we are committed to dismantling structural racism. And the Belhar Confession has a lot to say about justice and unity and reconciliation. So I want to read to you today, before we get started in February, by reading the introduction to this little booklet. The PCUSA's action to include the Belhar Confession in our Book of Confessions comes at a kairos moment in the United States. Troubling events like those in Ferguson, Missouri, and Charleston, South Carolina, symbolize a growing and seemingly intractable racial divide in our country. These are just two examples of unspeakable racialized violence which continues to stoke frustration, anger, division, and upheaval. It is also with great tragedy and irony that the 21-year-old white shooter who claimed 9 lives at a historic African-American church in Charleston, South Carolina, was known to wear flags of the bygone regime of apartheid South Africa, the context in which the Belhar was created. Akin to the racial strife in South Africa, these events continue to remind us that the sin of racism is alive and real. The inclusion of the Belhar reminds us that as unified members of the body of Christ, it is critical for us to create ample space in our lives and our churches for authentic and honest conversations about the realities of racism. In this issue of 30 Days with the Belhar Confession, we recognize the church's need to be faithful, courageous, and resolute in addressing these issues. Belhar's themes of unity, reconciliation, and justice compel us to closely examine those things that divide us and prevent us from seeking relationships of wholeness and equity. Throughout this book, there will be 3 different sections, one on unity, one on reconciliation, and one on justice. And it's the sincere hope of the Presbyterian Peacemaking Program, and from me as well, that these reflections will lead you in contemplation and guide you in action. I hope you join us this month.